I have never seen anyone as happy in my life as my father in the last week.
I had like 4 or 5 lunches with him, and he would actually walk like 5 blocks to get to where our lunch was and walk back. So he was actually pretty healthy, but he was mindful of what happens to you in your 90s. He's saying, well, it's bad things happen, and he'd rather that not happen with him. And he took his life. He went to Switzerland and ended his life, even though he was healthy. And I wasn't aware that he had this plan, although his family was aware of it. And I tried to talk him out of it and talk about how we're making exponential progress on overcoming diseases and so on. He was concerned about his kidneys, but I related some things that I'm involved in that relate to the kidney. And he understood what I was saying. And it was actually an economic issue, but he ended up taking his life anyway. But that's because he really was not convinced that this would happen.
Ray, my father passed away a year ago at 97 and also had an assisted death in Canada. They've now approved it. And I have never seen anyone as happy in my life as my father in the last week. And I asked the doctor after he passed away, I'm trying to feel loss or pain or suffering, but I can't. I've never seen him so happy. She said, 20,000 people in Canada have had this procedure this past year. Most of them go out in this state, and we think it's because they have agency. And he lived with dignity. He wanted to pass away with dignity, and he got his wish, and he was happy as a clam. It's a very philosophical, thought-provoking outcome.
Rather than having hand-wringing discussions about death with dignity and going to Canada, I would argue we should be talking about cryonics as recognizing that approximately 150,000 people are dying every day in our world, and not everyone statistically, if we get to longevity escape velocity by the early 2030s, as you predict, that's many, many millions of people who are going to die between now and LEV. Why do you think more people aren't obtaining cryonics plans for themselves? And we have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, hundreds of thousands of viewers to encourage viewers to consider getting cryonics plans for themselves so they don't have to move to Canada to die with dignity if they're in that position.